And in less than 24 hours, the Congress has less than 24 hours to avert the shutdown. And honestly, the odds are not looking good at this present time. And while this is not a political show, my things is I will never get into politics, right? I'm not going to side with the Republican Party, nor am I going to side with the Democrat Party. I think whoever, whatever side you're on is I have Republican friends and I have Democrat friends, right? This is a money show. How does what's happening in the world impact us within our personal homes? And while politicians in Washington are pointing fingers at each other, the Republicans are pointing fingers at the Democrats. Democrats are pointing fingers at the Republicans. I need to tell you what this means for your money, for your family, for your household, and your financial security. So I'm going to rush through a lot of this stuff as quickly as I possibly can because I got to get to the studio and record some amazing information for you all on today. Because what's about to happen at midnight tonight, if Congress does not get involved and stop this, is going to hit all of our wallets, including my wallets as well. And I don't think a lot of people honestly see this coming, right? And so, what I've done over the last 2 days, I went back and before I did this, I'm going to pull this up on the screen because I want you all remember one thing that I'm moving into as I've gathered this information, not information as I'm going back into school. I hate it when I hear influencers and quote unquote financial gurus quote all this stuff, but then they don't provide the stats or the facts, or they don't cite where they get their information from. So I like to pull up all the information so you can see where I'm getting my information from. All right. And let me pull it up right here so y'all can see it. It's all over me and screen two. All right, so here you go. Congress has less than 24 hours to avert a shutdown. The odds do not look good. Within less than 24 hours until a possible government shutdown, Senate Republicans will give Democrats a final chance to support their plan to keep the lights on at midnight. But inside the Capitol, few believe that Democrats are ready to yield. I am going to copy this and put this inside of the chat. And I'm going to really break all this down for you all. I'm really going to break all this down for you all. Um, CNN article. And remember, one thing that I'm always trying to do is I am trying to make sure that I'm giving you enough information to where you can go back and study for yourself. My job is to take all this big information and break it down into a place and into words that you can understand what's going on practically within your life. And so I really want to break this down. So listen, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me real quick. And please, 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 if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're less than 2,000 people away from hitting 1 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. So hit that subscribe button. So listen, I've studied every single shutdown since 1995. And here's some things that I believe that mainstream media will not tell you about this kind of information. So within the next 10 minutes, you're going to discover some few things. Number one, the 3 ways this shutdown will hit your bank account first, right? Number two, which essential services will stop immediately and which essential services do not stop, which that's going to be interesting. And how to protect your money starting today, starting right now. And then four, which is the last thing I want to talk about, is the one critical thing 90% of families forget to do. All right. So if you care about your financial security, and you need to watch this literally every second, I'm glad this. You need to watch this until the very end of the video. Just give me 15 minutes because that's all I have, and I gotta head up out of here. I got people at the studio waiting on me, and I told them I was like, hey man, I got to talk to my family about this. I got to talk to my inner black community about this. But let's talk about the immediate impact. I want to break down exactly how this government shutdown is going to cost you money starting tomorrow morning if Congress allows this to happen, right? If this is not a guarantee, this is a if this shutdowns happen, this is how it's going to impact you immediately. And this very first thing can impact me as of Friday. The very first thing is travel just became super expensive. Watch this. TSA agents will still have to work. But watch this. They're not getting paid for working. So when we go to the airport and we go through TSA pre-check line and the TSA line, those agents still have to work, but they'll be working without pay. So what does this mean? Not everyone's going to show up. So that means we're going to have longer lines, we're going to have more delays, and we're going to have higher stress. Because think about it, when you working for free and dealing with people who are frustrated, man, the TSA agents, they got every right to be frustrated, right? And so they're going to have a little bit of attitudes. And also what we tend to see around this time when this does happen, flight cancellations are about to skyrocket. So if you're traveling within the next few days, few weeks, and if this honestly goes through, this could easily cost you hundreds in rebooking fees, hotel costs, and missed connections. So, well, I'm gonna say that to later. Let me go down to number two because I gotta hurry up. I gotta hurry up. Here's number two thing: your money gets stuck in government limbo. Some of us are still waiting on some tax refunds. You're gonna keep waiting. I'm going to Ghana at the end of this year. Thank God I have my passport applications because if you have a passport, those are going to be frozen. No one's going to be able to do those. Social Security applications, delayed. The government, if this goes through, tomorrow become a black hole for our money. Anything dealing with government workers, expect delays. And I can't say cancellations because not all government people will stop because there's certain things that have to go on no matter what, like TSAs. But we got to expect some delays. Now, this is why I suggest everyone to follow my boy Courtney um, on his YouTube channel because this next thing that's going to impact us is the economic ripple effect that hits our community. And we're going to talk about this a bit later on when it comes like our investment portfolios, et cetera, et cetera. But 800,000 federal workers, if this go through, will lose their paycheck for a period of time. Federal contractors will lose their job, and that's millions of people extra, and they're not going to be getting paid. So I want to break this down so you'll really understand this, how this affects all of us, right? Because as I'm teaching, I was talking to my class about this yesterday in consumer economics. Well, the government shutdown doesn't impact me. I said, well, pause, it does. Because what happens if the government shuts down, and I live here in the DMV area, right? Every business near the federal building is now impacted. Every restaurant that serves government workers is now impacted. Every gas station that these government workers stopped at near the DC, near the government buildings, are now impacted. These are all businesses and entities and corporations and mom and pop shops that are all losing customers overnight. Because what happens if you get furloughed, if you lose your job temporarily, well, you're not going to spend money. Now that impacts local businesses. Now those businesses have to shut down for a little while. Now it starts impacting people around us. And here's the kicker. The last time this happened, watch this, was in 2018. It cost our economy $11 billion. And out of that 11 billion, 3 billion of that was permanently lost. As far as, and we never made that money back. It never went back into the economy. So that's your tax dollars being flushed down the drain while politicians argue. And so I was doing a little bit of research. I'm looking at my screen here because this is where all my notes are. So don't forget, y'all, as I'm doing these lives, you all are here. My notes are over here. So yeah, you all are here. No, you all are here. This is my YouTube channel where I see the chat, but then my notes are over here on screen too. And so, um, again, I'm going to say this up front. I am not attacking no political party. I'm not attacking any president. I'm only stating facts and stats that are inside the article that I gave you that you can do your own research on. Because what I'm about to say next, it's not going to look good. Now, they'll tell you this will be quick. The government will tell you this will be quick. It'll be just a few days. That's what they say. But I want to give you the real numbers. Again, I did my research and I want you to do your own research. The average government shutdown lasts 8 days, but that is the average. Can someone tell me in the chat how long was our longest shutdown in the history of the United States of America? Real quick, can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me how long was the longest shutdown in the history of America? Because I got to rush. I don't want to wait and see the chat because there is a lag on my end. But it was 34 days. 34 days. And that was 2018 to 2019. That was also under our current president, President Donald Trump. And here's what makes this one different and potentially longer. Yesterday, Trump threatened mass firings of federal employees. The Democrat Party are demanding billions for healthcare programs. Both sides are really dug into what they want than I've ever seen. From what I'm studying, unless things have changed overnight, and which things could change. But as of this morning, as of me studying and reading last night, this isn't about compromise anymore. But in this current article that just went live here this morning, some people are saying the Democrat Party are in a position, or some of them are ready to yield, which, okay, cool, great. But I personally think this is about who's going to blink first. And per this article that I just put inside the chat, it looks like the Democrat Party may blink first. Okay, cool, great. But here's the thing. While they're staring each other down, our families can't wait for their political arguments to end. This is exactly why I teach my community, I teach you all, you cannot depend on the government for your financial security. You can't. You can't. You cannot depend on the White House to protect your house. Because if this goes through tonight, there are going to be hundreds of thousands of families impacted by this. This is why I'm always teaching, set aside, anywhere between 3 to 6 months of your net pay inside of a high yield savings account. This is why I'm always saying, hey, open up an investment account and have extra money. This is why I'm always teaching you all, have a side business, have a side income. Never put all of your eggs into one basket. Do not trust your boss to do the right thing for you all the time, because he or she is going to do the right thing for their company. I tell this to my team all the time. Do not put all of your trust into me, because I'm going to do what's best for my company and for me first. Now, as a man of character and integrity, yes, I am going to think about you all because of just who I am. But if it comes down to me protecting this company, I'm going to do what's best for the company. And please believe your boss, whether you're in tech, whether you're in the government, whether you're in the private sector, man, they're going to do what's best for the company. And this is why I practice what I preach. And I told this to my team, like, yo, I have people who leave my full-time W-2 employees, go to 1099 because they built something that's so great. Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I put that article inside the chat this morning for the next 5 minutes. I just want to I want to tell you what you need to do right now to protect yourself and your family if this was to go through. And let's just say you're not even in the government. Hey, here are some things that all of us need to be doing, period. Number one, you got to set aside emergency cash. And here's a self-evaluation, y'all. Do you have 1 month of your full net pay sitting inside of a high yield savings account? Not an investment account, not in your checking account, not in retirement accounts. I'm talking about actual cash you can access immediately. Because there's going to be about 800,000 families, if this goes through, that they're going to need cash tomorrow because they will not get a check in the month of October if this was to go through. I have one of my good friends, I won't say her name, but she was a part of the program that was crucial in my upbringing in high school, TRIO, the programs that do Upward Bound. And she was furloughed for like 2, 3 weeks. Actually, about a little bit longer than that, about a month. She called me and she was like, man, I just told my son, like, yo, listen, we broke. And she's like, thankfully, I've been listening to Anthony and I've been stacking my money and I wasn't stressed. But I told my son, yo, I can't cash app you money. I can't put money inside your account because I don't know how long this is going to go. Now, her particular school ended up finding the funds for her and brought her and her program back into it. But if we are not positioned and ready for when something happens, y'all, it can hurt us. So if your answer is no, yo, I do not have a month of my net pay sitting inside of a high yield savings account. I do not have 3 to 6 months of my pay sitting inside of a high yield savings account. This becomes your top priority starting today. Do not have your money sitting in a regular savings account. As a matter of fact, let me give you all this. Let me pull it up now because you know me, man. I love to give y'all actual facts, actual things to do. Um, so shoot. Hold on. That's not it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. If you are looking for something like that, if you do not have a high yield savings account where you're getting extra, yeah, there we go. Let me pull this up over here. Hold on. I'm sorry. What the heck is going on here? All right, here we go. Let me pull this up for you. I want you to go to anthonyoneil.com/savings. If you don't have a high yield savings account, right? And this is what I love about it is if you go to anthonyoneil.com/high yield savings, I have the top three accounts. The top three accounts that is right now amazing. So right now, SoFi, you can get a 4.5% APY, no minimum balance, right? And then what I love about SoFi is they're going to give you $300 to put inside your savings account if you open up a savings and checking account. Here's why I think this is important. Let me bring myself back up. I'll leave it up here. I'll leave it up here. Here's why I think this is important, y'all. Here's why I think this is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Is you want a high yield savings account for your emergency fund that has a checking account. So this way, if you have an emergency, you can transfer it into a checking account, use the Visa or MasterCard debit card that they give you, and you have immediate access. But you could choose any of these. Any of these. Barclays is good, but look at their interest rate is at 3.9. Bread Savings is a brand new bank that just came up. I like them. They're offering 4.25%. They got FDIC insured. But honestly, my number one choice is going to be SoFi. So you can go to anthonyoneil.com/savings. Check that out, right? You can check that out and choose whichever one you go with, man. It doesn't really bother me. I'm learning to give you all options. Get 4.5% APY. So if you do not have that, listen, this is the time. Hold on. Anthony.com/.com savings. This is the time to do it. All right. This is the time. Because when the government stops working, cash is the only thing that keeps you working. All right. Here's step number two. Step number two. Know which bucket you're in. Social Security payments. Yes, yes. I saw someone in the chat earlier say that. I forgot who. But your Social Security income and Social Security payments, they will continue. Medicare, they will continue. Military pay will always be protected. All right. So if you're in the military is still going to be on, and the military is still getting paid. But if you're a federal employee, your next paycheck, if this goes through, will be delayed. It will be delayed. If you're a federal contractor, your payments could stop immediately. If your business depends on government customers, you're about to see a major drop in revenue. So for right now, if you're attached to the government area, you need to identify which bucket you're in so you can plan accordingly. Here's step 3, travel protection mode. If there are any non-essential traveling within the next 2 weeks, I highly encourage you to get some travel insurance. If this goes through tomorrow, I highly encourage you to get some travel insurance. So this way you're protected. All right. If they cancel your flight, you get your money back. If your flight gets delayed extremely, you can get some perks and some points, or not some points, but you can get something to take care of you. If they lose, because here's the thing too, let's say those flights go through, Man, what does Delta stand for? Don't expect luggage to arrive. You know what I'm saying? So if you absolutely must travel, like Friday, if this was to go through, I'm arriving at the airport about 2.5 hours earlier, about 2.5 hours earlier than normal. Because I am considering the TSA line, even TSA pre-check and clear, to be extremely delayed. I mean, sometimes at DCA, man, it could be backed up like crazy. And so if these employees, if this goes through on tomorrow, on Tuesday, these employees expect it's just not going to be a pretty thing. And let me say this to y'all: don't be upset with them. Right? When you go there, don't have an attitude that is delayed. Like, those people are still working for free. Like, give them grace. It doesn't give them a right to treat us disrespectfully, but also give them grace, because they got to get up and come to work for free. And some of them do not know if they're going to get their check, right? Um, I think they will. I think a lot of them are. I think sometimes the government will back pay for their work, but I mean, they really don't know. Okay, they really don't know. Here's the thing, too, y'all. Here's something too. Here's step number 4 that you need to do. This is a sign when it comes to economic uncertainty. It always creates opportunity for those who are prepared. What skills do you have that you can monetize right now? What services can you offer our community? What quick lessons can you jump into to learn something that's quick, that you can build a side supplemental income, a side business that can produce some money that at least pays your bills? I'm writing a book, and I was telling about one of the stories in my book of a young lady who actually had a side business. She actually had a side business, and unfortunately, she lost her job. I won't say the name of the company. It was a big company. They laid off about 200 employees, and she was one of those employees. She's been following me now for about 6 years, and she got a side business. And her side business wasn't paying her as much as her full-time business, but it was paying enough to cover her mortgage and some groceries. But she had two months of her net pay set aside inside of her savings. So she was able to use her side business to pay her mortgage and to buy groceries. And she only had to go inside of her emergency fund to take care of her utilities. She adapted and adjusted her lifestyle to make sure she doesn't have to dip into it fully. But she said, Ayo, it felt so good to know that I listened to you, that I started a side business, I started a side gig. It was producing some income. So when not the government, but when her business unfortunately let her off, she wasn't concerned, because she knew she can get another job. She knew it could take about, on average, about 2 to 3 months to get another job, and she knew she had at least 2 months to live guaranteed. But she had this side supplemental income that was helping her out. That's why a couple of weeks ago I told you all, when I was talking about the ladies getting laid off, man, right now this is a great time to start a side business. It's a great time to jump into the now, what do they call me? They call me shoot, what do you call me, an influencer. You can jump in and be a content creator that's making good money. You can jump into the tech field. You can jump into you name it, man. I mean, there's so many different things that you can jump into. And so I would encourage you, while the politicians are fighting right now, we should be building, right? We should be building. Which leads me to the last thing I really need y'all to do to protect your money. And I saw this in the chat, and I'm so grateful that I'm getting to this. Y'all, here's the investment strategy. And this is why I want to bring this up, because I just saw it in the chat. Do not panic sell your investments. Do not pull money out of your 401k. Do not sell your stocks and bonds. Do not do anything. I want to repeat this again. Do not panic sell. Because right now, if the market does go down tomorrow, it's honestly going to create buying opportunities for those with cash and courage. This is when people like myself, I have I have three kinds of savings account. I have an emergency savings account, I have an opportunity savings account, then I have a fund savings account. My opportunity savings account are for times like this. To where it's like, okay, wait, when the market goes down, I'm buying like crazy. As a matter of fact, let me bring this up for y'all, because I think it's very important for you all to know. today is the last day, I think. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I'm saying this right because I don't want to get in no trouble and quote anything. Boom. All right, let me show y'all this. Today is the last day. You can get $1,000 in NVIDIA stock through my friends over at Moomoo. If you go to anthonyoneil.com/Moomoo, I'm going to put inside the chat and the show notes. You can get up to $1,000 in NVIDIA stock. And then if you put extra money in there today, while you're waiting to see what the market does here the rest of this week, they're going to give you 8.1% on that money, but that is APY, so that's annual percentage for the year, right? But 8.1 is amazing. But my thing is, no, I want you to put your money inside of this Moomoo account and get $1,000 in free NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA is one of the strongest companies in the world. So if you can open up an account with $100 minimum today, if you got cash and courage, I would encourage you to go over to anthonyoneil.com/Moomoo, open up that account and get some of this free stock. Because let me tell y'all the truth, man. Let me be real with y'all. Right now is not a time to get scared and run and sell your stocks. Now it's not a time to go in there and cash in your 401k. No, 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 no. Stick to your long-term wealth building plan. Because if this shutdown goes down, it's only temporary. Your financial future is permanent. All right? Do not sell. Hold on, let me put this in there. Get $1,000 free NVIDIA stock. Because today it ends today. I just checked my back account. It ends today. They're not giving away NVIDIA stock as of the first tomorrow. So I just pinned that to the chat. I would highly encourage you to go there. If you're confused on how to work Moomoo, go to my YouTube channel. Let me put this in there. I'm gonna show y'all. I gotta get up out of here, y'all. My team is already texting me. Dang, I'm late. I am late. My team is already texting me. So let me just show you all what this is. Live. All right, cool, great. Let me show y'all this real quick. All right, so if you're gonna open up a Moomoo account today, I want to show you this. Come over here, go to my live, go to my YouTube channel, click on live. All right, come over here and get $1,000 free NVIDIA stock using this app, Moomoo, step by step. I'll show you how to open up the account and get inside of the account and get your first and invest. All right, so I really want y'all to do that. All right, but I want you to write those things down. Listen, here's the bigger lesson, and I'm gonna get up out of here. Okay, here's what this really teaches us about money and true security. The government, none of our jobs, including myself and my employees and my team members, we can't be our safety net. Politicians, employers will always, I would say this, how do I say this? They will always make the best decisions or make decisions that sometimes doesn't benefit us as in individuals. It's not going to make the best decision for your money. And they're not going to make the best decision even for your money and for your future. The only person that is responsible for my money and my future, my family's future, is myself, period. When I was working for people, it wasn't their responsibility to make the best decisions that's for me. No, their responsibility is what's the best decision that positions the company or the government to make more money. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility to take care of your home and take care of your family. Your financial security and your financial future is your responsibility. It's not theirs. This is exactly why we build multiple streams of income. We open up a high yield savings account. We invest. This is why we keep emergency funds. This is why we invest in ourselves and our financial education. Because when the companies and the governments fail, because it will fail. Let me say that again. It will fail. It will fail. Let me say it one more time. Your company is going to let you down. I've let down my companies, my team members sometimes because I made a decision that was best for my company that unfortunately may not have been best for their pockets. And I'm being honest as an employer. Now, because of who I am, sometimes did I sacrifice some making more money so that way it didn't hurt my team members? Yes, I have. That's just who I am, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to do that all the time because my responsibility is my family, my future family, my future wife. All right. So I really want to jump on here and just leave this with, I want to leave this with you. I think it's Psalms. I think it's Psalms chapter 146, verse 3. Put not your trust in men. I think it is. Yeah, yeah, in men, but in all things and in everything, put your trust in God. That includes politicians, government workers. And if this shutdown goes down tomorrow, we got to be prepared, y'all. I teach this all the time. Proper prior planning prevents poor performances. All right. And so if you're at a point to where you're like, man, I'm a little nervous, I'm a little scared, I would encourage you to follow CNN. For those of y'all who are just now tuned in, please rewind. Um, Here is the article that I've been following CNN. I hate these ads. These ads begin on my nerves, right? But Congress has less than 24 hours to avert shutdown, and the odds do not look good. All right. And so I would encourage you all as the day is going on, y'all get the proper information. This is why when I'm talking about current news, I bring up the articles of where I'm getting all of this stuff from. And this is super important. Like we have to be educated. We need to know what's going on. And so I would encourage you to stick out with CNN. I'm a CNN guy. And I look at Fox sometimes as well because I'm on Fox as often. But I would encourage you to keep studying, keep being educated, and inform yourself. For those of you all who are just now tuned in, please go back and watch this from the very beginning, because I break down exactly what does this mean for our full pockets. I'm not here to argue Republican side. I'm not here to argue the Democrat side. I'm here to say, okay, listen, if this goes through, here's how this will impact our personal pockets. Here's how this will impact our mom and pop shops that surround the government. My prayer is that the government doesn't shut down, because while it will not immediately affect my pockets, if it goes for a longer period of time, which Donald Trump has the record of the longest shutdown, that is not an attack on him. That's not an attack on the Republican Party. It is just the facts that are inside the article. And so 34 days is a long time. And those are people who I care about without jobs. Those are people who I care about who have to adapt, adjust, and overcome. But this is why I teach personal finances, because I want people to be prepared for what comes. Listen, I remember serving on Dave Ramsey's team right before COVID starts, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, like the Dave Ramsey principles don't work." And but then when COVID came and the world shut down for almost 6 months to a year, I have to be honest, man, I wasn't concerned because I was practicing what I preach. And all of a sudden, everything that I'm teaching, avoid consumer debt, make sure you're investing, and make sure you have a side business, and make sure you got a fully funded emergency fund inside your high yield savings account. Man, all of a sudden, people was like, yo, this message makes sense. This message makes total sense. I'm not going to sit here and tell you go out there and rack up all this debt and leverage other people's money, and you don't even have the money to even sustain that lifestyle. Because here's the truth, and I'm done. We prepare not from fear, but from wisdom. We build wealth, what? Not from greed, but from responsibilities, or from responsibility to our families and our future. I'm not building wealth because I want to, have all these luxury things. No, I'm building wealth because when God blesses me with my wife, when God blesses me with my family, man, I can protect them. If life was to happen, if I get sick and I got to stop coming on here and talking to y'all, I got to stop traveling around the world and teaching financial literacy. I got to stop going to HBCUs and teaching these young people. When that stuff stops, if it stops, watch this, when it stops, I have positioned myself to take care of my families. This is why I do what I do. This is why I teach what I teach. Because your financial freedom cannot depend on the White House. It cannot depend on your job. It has to depend on you. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta head over to the studio. I'm extremely late, but I want to jump on here and just share this information. Listen, y'all, if you enjoyed this, if you can do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me before you leave. Please, if you're just now tuned in, please go back and watch from the very, very beginning and get some of this information. I really lay out the facts and the stats of what has happened in the past. And y'all know me, I'm a Christian. And if you're a Christian, man, let's pray that Congress will come to a conclusion that this doesn't happen on tomorrow, that this is not the issue on tomorrow. And if you all watch this on tomorrow and the Congress steps in and we don't have to have a shutdown, listen, fast forward to the end part and just make sure that we still get prepared. That is the key thing, right? That is the key thing. We got to be prepared for whatever life. Watch this. We got to be prepared for whatever God allows to happen. Period. God knew this was going to happen. If we shut down tomorrow, God knew that was going to happen. But like my father taught me, proper prior planning prevents poor performances. And so be prepared. Y'all listen, go open up a savings account today. Go get that stock. Let me show y'all that last stock, man. Let me put this up. Go to anthonyoneil.com/mumu. All right. If you go to anthonyoneil.com/mumu, you can get this right here, $1,000 in free NVIDIA stock. It's ending today. It is ending today. Get you some stock. And before you leave, man, do me a favor. It's about 800 of you all watching this thing live. Please do me a favor, man. We are almost 2,000 subscribers away from 1 million family members within this community. Absolutely amazing. So if you can do me a favor, hit that thumbs up before you leave. And also join this amazing community of 1 million people who want to be consumer debt free, build wealth, buy investment properties, and change our family's financial future. I want you to get the Bentley. I want you to get your dream car, your dream house. I want you to have everything that you desire. I just want to help you get it in a healthy way quickly, but not in a way that's going to cost you or bring you any headache. All right. So it's your boy Anthony. I love you all. God bless you. And I will see you all on tomorrow for tomorrow's show. All right. Peace out.